Have you ever faced a situation where you felt completely powerless, like the walls were closing in, and there seemed to be no way out? In those moments, many of us seek a higher power, hoping for guidance and strength to pull us through. But here's the truth: Jesus is not just a hope for the hopeless. He's the unshakable foundation we can all lean on when life's storms hit. Today, let's explore how faith in Jesus can transform impossible situations into moments of breakthrough and victory. In times of despair, when everything around you feels like it's crumbling, we naturally search for something or someone who can provide stability. The prayer above beautifully captures this sense of turning to Jesus in moments of weakness, declaring faith in his ability to tear down walls and break chains. It's a powerful reminder that no matter what we face, no problem is too big for God. Personally, I've found that when we let go of the need to control everything and truly surrender to God's plan, that's when we experience true peace. But this isn't just about a passive reliance on a higher power. It's about actively seeking strength through faith. When we recognize Jesus as our refuge, our foundation in times of turmoil, we're not only trusting him to protect us but also asking him to give us the strength to keep going. It's like knowing that no matter how fierce the storm, there's a lighthouse guiding you home. Developing personal commentary on trust in God's power. There's a line in the prayer that speaks about trusting Jesus to turn struggles into victories. I've experienced moments where everything seemed overwhelming, and the challenge ahead seemed impossible to overcome. But what I've learned is that these moments are exactly where faith plays its most crucial role. It's not just about hoping for a miraculous solution, it's about believing that every challenge is an opportunity for growth. When you have faith, you stop asking, "Why is this happening to me?" and start asking, "What can I learn from this?" And that's where real transformation happens. Instead of fearing difficulties, we can embrace them with the knowledge that God will provide us with everything we need to face them. The struggle for steady faith. Often, we falter when times get tough. It's easy to trust God when things are going smoothly. But what happens when life throws curveballs our way? That's when we really need to rely on steady, unwavering faith. The prayer talks about not wanting to be a halfway Christian, and this resonates deeply. Many people, myself included, have found themselves in situations where our faith was tested, and it was tempting to give in to fear, doubt, or worry. But here's the thing: true faith is built in the hard times, not the easy ones. When we surrender our fears and doubts to God and trust that he is in control, we find a new kind of strength. It's not the strength that comes from having all the answers, but the strength that comes from knowing that even without all the answers, you're going to be okay because God is with you. Personal reflection on full devotion. When we talk about full devotion to Jesus, it's more than just saying a prayer or attending a service. It's about giving him our whole heart. It's about not allowing ourselves to be lukewarm in our commitment. Imagine having a deep, burning passion for something: a career, a hobby, or a relationship. You put your all into it because you believe in its value. Now imagine that same level of passion directed toward your faith. How different would your life look? In the prayer, there's a desire to avoid being a halfway Christian, someone who is only partially committed. This reminds me of how important it is to give our faith the attention it deserves, just like anything else we care about. We can't expect to grow spiritually if we're only putting in minimal effort. Trusting in God's timing and perseverance. Patience is something we all struggle with, especially when we want immediate solutions to our problems. The prayer asks for strength and endurance to wait on God's timing, and this is something I think we all need to reflect on. In my experience, the waiting periods in life are often where the most growth happens. It's in those moments of uncertainty where we learn to lean on God the most. God doesn't always work on our timeline, and sometimes it can feel like he's taking too long. But I've learned that when I rush ahead of God's plan, I often miss out on the deeper work he's doing behind the scenes. True faith means trusting that God knows what's best, even when it doesn't make sense to us in the moment. Gratitude for God's unfailing love. Throughout the prayer, there's an overwhelming sense of gratitude for God's love and mercy. And honestly, this is something we can never take for granted. Even in our lowest moments, when we feel undeserving, God's love remains steadfast. I've found that when we take time each day to reflect on what we're grateful for, it changes our entire perspective. Instead of focusing on what we lack, we start to see the abundance of blessings around us. Gratitude is a powerful practice, especially when paired with faith. It allows us to see beyond our current struggles and recognize that God is always working for our good, even when we can't see it immediately. So, what's the takeaway here? Faith isn't about having a perfect life, free from struggles or challenges. It's about trusting in the one who holds all the power to get us through those difficult times. It's about leaning on Jesus as our foundation and source of strength, no matter what we're facing. The real lesson is this: faith doesn't make life easier, but it does make us stronger. It gives us the courage to face the impossible and the peace to endure the unknown. When we trust in God's timing, remain steadfast in our devotion, and continually express our gratitude, we position ourselves to receive the fullness of His blessings. So, as you navigate your own challenges, remember that you are never alone. Jesus is with you every step of the way, turning your struggles into victories and your doubts into unwavering faith. Keep pressing forward, keep trusting, and keep believing, because with God, all things truly are possible.